Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. So this is going to be a little bit of different reading for me. For some reason, I just keep getting like the feeling of Aaliyah or Aaliyah, or I don't know. I feel like I'm not spelling, but saying the name incorrectly. And it's just been on my mind, my body, my spirit, just to do a reading for her. So I'm going to do a reading for Aaliyah. Not sure what's going to come through, but whatever comes through, just take it. And if it resonates, it resonates. If you want to add anything to it, please leave a comment or anything below. So the cards that I'm going to be using is the Hoodoo Tarot. And this is what they look like. They're very, very beautiful cards. They're very cultural, ancestor linked cards. So I'm hoping she'll be able to use these cards and use me as a vessel to send a message out to you. So the first thing that I am getting about Aaliyah is that she is like shattered. Not like broken, but like a state of consciousness. And it's like, I'm not sure if you all have heard the stories of when you transition, your mind goes back to, or your spirit and your soul goes back to collective consciousness, or soul consciousness, or i.e. God, or i.e. the Most High. Well, I feel like, and in some cases, depending on how the person lived in this life, we live this life in several different dimensions. So one person can transition from this dimension into another dimension where they're living a different type of life, almost like what's that movie that just came out, Spider-Man in the metaverse, or whatever it's called, I don't know, but it's several different Spider-Mans depending on what dimension you're in. So you like go through this wormhole, and when you go through this wormhole, you meet another Spider-Man. And that's how I feel this life is, that when someone closes their eyes in this life, they could wake up dimensionally in another life. So hypothetically speaking, those times when you like, oh man, I thought I was dead, or almost I could have died, or I was afraid this happened. In some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, you're moving from one state of consciousness to the next, right? And one good example is deja vu. Deja vu is when, in my opinion, deja vu is when you're at a particular point of living, of consciousness, where you remember, hey, there's a road that I can take. This looks familiar. This feels familiar. Should I do the same thing I did the last time, or should I consciously think about what I did and make a different choice? But to get back to her, I feel like she hasn't really fully transitioned to another space, another time in consciousness. She's aware that she has transitioned, right? She knows that her spirit and her body has separated, but her consciousness has not moved to another dimension or Most High. It's almost like she's stuck in a I'm gonna get there. I'm just trying to explain. So it's like she's stuck in a state, and I don't want to say purgatory, because I don't feel like she's in a state of purgatory. I feel like she's in her happy space with her father. Like, not saying her father has transitioned, because I really don't know if he has or he hasn't, but in her mind, she's in her happy space with her father, in a happy space with Damon Dash, I guess. in a happy space of just her in her cocoon, her in her own space and mind, if that makes sense. Okay. Just a few things that I'm just getting right off the top is that she was supposed to get married. She had this life planned out on the roads that she wanted to take, but she feels that was ripped from her. Children was ripped from her. R. Kelly, that she was tricked into what she thought was a true love, when in actuality it was a fictitious love. And she feels like she encountered a lot of that in that world that she was living in that existence that she was in. There were people who were pretending to have her back but was not. And her mother was pretending. Wow. Her mother was pretending to have her back, when in actuality they were behind the scenes cutting deals I guess, to make money off of her because she was so young. And I almost wonder, I almost wonder if there was some kind of payout. It's like, and normally when people think of funerals or think of people transitioning, they're thinking of sad times, but this lady in here looks like, hey, I'm happy this occurred, and being happy that this occurred, I'm getting something. I don't know what it is, and you can tell, look like the lady has been shot in her back. So even the person who got the payout was even being deceived by someone else. See, and this here shows that she's in a place of happiness with a state of her spirit is in that state, if that makes sense. Like she's in her happy place. But she also, to me, is in a state of fear because she's still searching. She's searching. She's searching, one, on how to bring herself back together, but also on, how to comfort the hurt that she feels and the people close to her feel. I feel like she was really good with children, and she had a child in her life, may not have been her child, I'm not sure, that she had a really good relationship with, and that child had a very difficult time dealing with her loss. And she comes to them and she comforts them in their time of need, in their time of sorrow, because even though it's been all these years, it still isn't easy for them. I feel like there's a lot of hurt with Aaliyah surrounding her mother. It's like, how could you do this to me? And I'm really not sure what her relationship was with her mother, but she she feels like something related to her mother caused her. Okay, hold. Her mother didn't protect her, and it caused some kind of separation. And I'm not sure if her mother managed her in the beginning. I'm not sure of that at all. But in the end, something occurred where she had to move away from her mother governing her relationships, if that makes sense. Like, maybe in the beginning her mother was truly involved in her relationships with just the people in the music industry, her uncle R. Kelly, Brian, I don't know who that is, but her mother was truly involved in it, but later on she was not. And she feels like if her mother would have stayed involved and her mother would have continued to be a mother by loving her and protecting her, then this situation wouldn't have happened. A lot of things occurred that her father didn't particularly know what was going on. I think her mother often would cheat on her father. Yet she was blossoming into herself. She was coming into herself, but that was stolen by some very devious acts. Okay. So even though she was blossoming into something beautiful, right? So into all I can say is something great. She was blossoming, but something occurred that wanted to okay. So I'm not into the other stuff, so I'll just say it like this. Her energy, and this could be why she shattered, because her energy was transferred. So she was growing into this beautiful blossoming flower. Like she was coming into herself. But in the process of coming into herself, there were a lot of fake people around her that she could not trust. Okay? And in the process of these people, and I feel like these are people not only that she could see, but the ones that she could not see. Right? There were a lot of things hidden from her, but in the process, her energy was transformed. So I would almost wonder, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure, but I can almost wonder that when she transitioned, there was some kind of masculine energy, or even just it could be, I don't want to say if it was male or female, but there was an energy that rose to fame or some kind of greatness after she transitioned. I don't know who this could be, and it could be someone benefited greatly, not only financially but spiritually, on her transition. So remember, like, energy is not created nor destroyed, it just transformed. So when she transitioned, someone was doing work. I'm not sure who, what, when, or where, but it was transferred into another vessel. And being transferred into that other vessel caused her soul to be fractured, and it caused this other person to rise into some kind of state of power. Okay? I'm not sure when Aaliyah's birthday is, but or what. To me, I'm just saying birthday because normally people do vigils during a birthday, and I'm not sure if this occurred when she transitioned, but having lighters, like a group of people, a ton of people holding up lighters, not lighters, candles, white candles lit in her honor, and she's like, thank you for that, because at that point, that's when she realized that her physical existence was gone, because when she transitioned, she was already out. She was a very, very spiritual person. So when she was when her body was resting, she was outside of her body. So when the body was diminished or gone, she was still in a resting state. So it was a bit of confusion of, okay, what's going on? Is this real? Am I just lost out here in this ethereal plane? Like, what's going on? But when she saw that group that was completely dedicated to her, they gave her a sense of knowing that she has transitioned. And something will need to be done on her behalf to bring her back together. I don't know if this will cause the downfall of this person that benefited tremendously from it. I'm not sure, but something needs to occur so she can bring herself back together in spirit, and then she can fully transition, if it's to another dimension or if it's just to be with the Most High, whatever she decides or whatever is in her book. But she does feel like it was stolen from her. Like, I know, when people transition, it's always their time. But I feel like this transition was not like a normal transition. This transition was a transition of power, of energy, from one vessel to another. And because of that, because there was a transition of energy or spirit, or however you want to put it, there was a transition from her to somebody else, okay? There were people working on doing things that she couldn't see them. She didn't know them. Well, she probably knew them, but she couldn't see them doing the work. They were doing the work to cause her to demise and somebody else to rise. Okay? Not sure who it is or what happened or how it happened, but that's what I'm getting. And she's just ready for her story to be out. And one thing that she pointed out is that you can choose your family. I'm not sure where this is coming from, but you can choose your family, and that it's not who you're born with, but who you continue to grow and build with. Okay, that's what I got. Please leave a comment or thought. I just wanted to go ahead and get it out. Not sure who needs to hear this or what needs to be said, but any thoughts or comments below would be awesome. Thank you.